Welcome all my friends to a great story where the Princess of Themyscira, Diana, along with the Justice League, goes to hell to battle the gods and demons of the underworld. Everything begins when a tropical storm blows in Beach City, and a fire truck is hit by a wayward stop sign. Diana aids Superman in rescuing the drivers, then the truck. They then notice a young girl trapped up in a tree. Diana rescues her and takes her to her mother. After seeing the way that the girl's mother reacts to her daughter, Diana begins to get homesick and reminisces about her mother. Diana is almost hit by a falling traffic light pole, but Superman saves her just in time. Under Superman's encouragement, Diana decides that she has been away from Themyscira for too long and needs to return to settle things with her mother and sisters. Diana is thinking of various excuses to give her mother, since she has been away for 8 whole months. She travels back to the island in the Javelin, and finds that the island is in ruins, and all her Amazon sisters have been turned to stone. Frantically, she searches for her mother, Hippolyta, only to find that she too had been turned to stone. A sorcerer, Felix Faust, approaches her. Diana confronts him, and after a brief fight she takes him down. But he tells her if she hurts him, he'll leave the Amazons the way they are. He claims that he only seeks knowledge, but confesses that he is the one who attacked Paradise Island and turned the Amazons to stone. He goes on to explain that he is looking for pieces of an artifact. He then restores Hippolyta to her normal self, but turns her back to stone when she attacks. Faust blackmails Diana into gathering the artifacts. He claims that if she brings the artifacts to him, he will restore the Amazons. Believing she has no other choice, Diana agrees. He gives her a limited amount of time and mystic gems that glow when they are near the artifacts. Diana then leaves. While Diana pursues the artifacts, Felix Faust is seen speaking to a higher authority through a floating flame. As Felix reports, he explains that Hippolyta's daughter is helping him. Diana calls Batman for help learning about Felix Faust, but won't say anything else. Batman activates tracking the Javelin. Diana searches for the first artifact in a museum. Obtaining the artifact is easy enough, until a giant stone statue of a gladiator comes to life and attacks. It turns out the artifacts are cursed and protected by various guardians. After a fierce fight, Diana comes out the victor, but the museum is left in ruins. She is confronted by Superman, who insists that if Diana is going to be destroying public property, she should have a good reason. She reluctantly explains the situation to him, and he, along with Flash, John, and Batman, volunteer to help, to get Themyscira back to the golden days. Flash and John go to collect one of the artifacts. Flash manages to snatch the artifact from an ancient Aztec temple, but a giant fire-breathing snake rises from the ground and attacks. John and Flash deal with the snake, and with John's strength, there is little trouble defeating it. Superman and Diana find the other artifact buried underneath a mall, but as soon as they touch it, the artifact flashes and they see each other as demons. Both believing the other to be a cursed demon, they fight each other, but Superman eventually sees Diana in their reflection and realizes who she is. Now, Superman only defends himself and doesn't fight back. With Superman refusing to fight, Diana incapacitates him. Fortunately, they're near mirrors, and Superman is able to show her their reflection, revealing his true form to Diana and ending the fight. Back on Themyscira, Faust talks to his unknown benefactor, who seems to be the underworld god, and the two are confident that the world will soon be theirs. After Diana apologizes to Superman for her misunderstanding behavior, they are contacted by the Batman to share some mysterious details about Felix Faust. The Justice League meet at the residency of Felix Faust.
Don't touch that.
Oops.
Don't touch anything! We don't know what kind of powers we're dealing with.
And according to Batman's findings, he was a respected professor of archaeology until he lost his position for dabbling in black magic and having heretical ideas. Faust had gained his revenge on the people who fired him, as all of them have disappeared mysteriously. Batman continues to say that he read Faust's diary and saw a reference to Tartarus, the pit of the lost souls where Lord Hades is ruling. Diana realizes that Faust is working under the direction of Hades, the lord of the underworld, Tartarus. She takes the story back in time to explain that her mother had a brief affair with the god Hades before he was banished for betraying the gods to the Titans, as Hades wanted to rule over all of humanity as promised to him by the Titans. Eventually, the gods managed to defeat the Titans and banished Hades to Tartarus to rule the dead soul for all eternity. The gate to Tartarus is located beneath Themyscira, and the artifacts altogether form a key that will open it. Despite this information, Diana insists that she has no choice but to give Faust the key in order to free her mother and sisters, and the Justice League ponders on what to do. After she delivers the key, Faust attempts to betray Diana and holds out his medallion to turn her and Hippolyta into stone. Just then, the Flash snatches the medallion away from Faust, and the 3 other League members reveal themselves, much to the amazement of everyone. To be honest, I think Queen Hippolyta is surprised by the gathering of so many men the most. Taken aback, Felix Faust attacks them, but at first it seems that the Leaguers will win. However, Faust proves to be a much more formidable opponent than first thought and captures the League in thorny vines. He then kidnaps Hippolyta and disappears, leaving the League members all surprised. Felix Faust has taken Queen Hippolyta to the gates of Tartarus, and he has chained her to a rock as an offering to Lord Hades. Soon after, Felix places the keys to the gates and opens the gates for the very first time in history. Lord Hades appears, and Faust demands what Hades promised him in return for his help, ultimate knowledge. Smiling, Hades touches Faust, who begins to age rapidly and scream in terrible pain. Hades explains, ultimately, pain and suffering are all man will ever know. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Wonder Woman and the League appear, freeing Hippolyta and fighting against Hades with a very limited success. Easily brushing off even Superman's blows, Hades uses his magic to summon an army of dead to battle the heroes. The skeletons are no match for the heroes, but they are so great in number that they are too much of a distraction for the heroes to take on Hades. Fortunately, Faust awakens, and, angered by the betrayal, he attacks Hades with dark magic from behind. Hades changes into a beast-like form and kills Felix Faust. Hades is then attacked by Queen Hippolyta, but he catches her. Still, while he deals with Hippolyta by a slim margin, Diana manages to destroy the key, as ordered by her mother, causing the gate to close and suck Hades and his minions, including the dead Faust, back to Tartarus. They all battle to survive the gates of Tartarus, and Hades attempts to drag Hippolyta with him, but Diana is able to pull her mother free before the gates close. Unfortunately, the Amazons are still trapped as stone. However, Flash pulls out the medallion of Felix, and once it's touched by sunlight, it is destroyed and the spell is broken, turning all the Amazon warriors back into their human forms, much to the delight of Diana and her mother. The victory turns out to be bittersweet. Hippolyta honors Superman, John, Flash, and Batman for their help, naming them Heroes of Themyscira. However, because Diana broke the sacred law by bringing men to the island, Hippolyta has no choice but to exile Diana from Themyscira. At the Far Injustice announcement, Flash loses his mind and blackguard the Queen for her unfair decision. Though shaken by her mother's decree, Diana accepts her ruling and departs from Themyscira with the other League members. Despite the decree, the Amazons did a present arm as a sign of respect for her and the League. With a heavy and a broken heart, Queen Hippolyta blesses her daughter.
May Hera watch over you, my little sun and stars.
After a long time from the occurring at the Paradise Island, Themyscira, Tala, the apprentice sorcerer, is working on the Annihilator, trying to magically remove its only weakness, complete reliance on aggression to move. She is instructed by her mentor, the black magician Felix Faust, now existing only as a disembodied spirit trapped in a mirror, since she rescued him from Tartarus, is looking over her shoulder. When her latest attempt fails, he says he knows the answer and tricks her into casting a spell that frees Faust from the mirror and traps her instead. His spirit takes control of the Annihilator and goes stomping out of Cadmus. Aboard the Justice League Watchtower, Flash is trying to mend fences between Wonder Woman and Shayera, the Hawk Girl, but unfortunately, he is failing miserably. The two ladies share an awkward moment and part their ways, leaving Flash seated alone on the table.
I had dinner with 2 women at the same time. 'Cause I'm a stud.
As Diana passes the infirmary, she's surprised to see Etrigan, Dr. Fate, and Zatanna all writhing under some invisible torture. and John is trying to find out what is wrong with them, as he suspects it's regarding some magical action at the gates of Tartarus. Wonder Woman returns to her quarters and finds Hermes, the messenger of the gods, with a message from Lord Zeus, ordering Diana that she has to return to Themyscira and set things right at Tartarus. According to the gods, Felix Faust has walked straight to the gates of Tartarus and usurped Hades' throne in revenge for his betrayal. As a result, the balance between Olympus and Tartarus has been upset, hence the turmoil felt by the League's magic users. By the order of Zeus, Diana must restore it. After an examination of her own weapons, Diana concludes that she needs Shayera's metal mace, which disrupts magic. She sneaks into Shayera's quarters to steal it, but Shayera catches her. Swallowing her pride, Diana asks to borrow it, but Shayera insists on coming with her. Together they reach Themyscira, where Hippolyta objects to Diana breaking her exile. Diana says she must enter the gates. Before she goes, Hippolyta touches Diana's tiara, unlocking her armor's full power. Inside the land of Tartarus, they face many demons, but they are repelled when they see Shayera with her wings. Believing her to be an angel, she only remarks, "If we are lucky, they'll all be that dumb."
You can mess with me if you want to, but I don't think you want to mess with the boss.
Inside Tartarus, the two women capture a feeble demon, Abnegazar, who does not cooperate to share his knowledge on Faust's whereabouts. But soon, under the influence of Diana's golden lasso, he agrees to lead them to Hades' library, and he advises them that they really shouldn't go in there. They enter the great library chambers, where Faust is happily immersed in tomes of ancient, forbidden knowledge. When they confront him, he sends them plummeting down a hole in the floor with a casual spell. In a snowy region of Tartarus, they find Hades, chained to a rock and being tormented by vultures. They free him only to reinstate the balance between Olympus and Tartarus, and soon the three of them return to the library to attack Felix Faust. In the ensuing battle, the library is largely destroyed, but Shayera's mace proves to be capable of hurting the Annihilator. Faust seizes Shayera and begins crushing her to death, but Diana takes up the mace and strikes a devastating blow. The armor is destroyed, and a tiny portion of Faust's soul is left drifting. Hades picks it up and announces that he plans to make it his hobby to torture Felix Faust's left-behind soul. He bids the ladies farewell, calling Diana "my child." When she objects, Hades claims that he and Hippolyta worked together in sculpting her from clay. Shayera assures Diana that Hades is lying, and she can use her lasso on him. Diana says she doesn't need to, as she knows who her real family is. Returning to Themyscira, they are welcomed by a cheering crowd. Despite the law of the gods, Hippolyta rescinds Diana's exile at last, stating that she will face the gods when it comes to it. As they are welcomed to a farewell banquet, Diana and Shayera make peace. Though not really friends, they are both content with being good teammates. Diana's mission pushes her to her physical and emotional limits, but thanks to her good heart, she finds the strength to battle through. Let this be a lesson to never doubt how powerful you can be. Making noise about an issue can lead to real change, so don't stay quiet about the cause you believe in. Always remember how the Princess of Themyscira handled her enemies and how she treated her challengers. Never ever give up on your dream, because one day you will realize that you can become your own hero. Thank you for watching Second Look. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more awesome videos. Have a nice day.